Now, Captain Aliyu Umar is another Nigerian who agrees that the military command center should be relocated to Maiduguri, Borno State. Mr. Umar says moving the intelligence to the battlefield will give the military the edge to fight Boko Haram. And on rescuing the Chibok girls, he says it will not be an easy task for the military anymore.
Maiduguri is where the party is, okay? It's not unusual to see people, top brass, move to the area of operation when you have such serious situations on ground. Some people don't understand it, so they seem to be a bit skeptical. We are not saying go take the entire army headquarters and move it to Maiduguri, structure and all, no. I want to take us back in time to when the United States, for example, was doing the Operation Desert Storm. And there were field commanders who were actually co-located with the troops, like Norman Schwarzkopf. In fact, at a point in time, Donald Rumsfeld even moved his office briefly to Ground Zero. And that brings about two things. That brings about first-hand insight to what is happening, and that brings about motivation for the troops. In Nigeria, it's not uncommon too. We've had people do it. The president, for example, sometime in the 80s, had to leave Jos, where he was general officer commanding 3 Armored Division, and lead troops when Chad incurred into our territories. He led the Armored Brigade, and he moved from Jos down to the same Maiduguri we're talking about. Out of Nigeria, Maxwell Kobe did it in Sierra Leone. When when our troops had to take Koso town, it was one tough assignment, and after a few days, he wasn't getting results. He flew a chopper there and led them himself. It was motivating. What they could not do in a matter of days with high casualties, they did in a matter of hours. In hours, because the big boy was on ground, Koso town was already behind the troops. So I feel it's going to motivate troops, and perchance, if our chiefs had been on ground, we may not have had the high number of boys who ran away from battle that we did, 579 in all. If you look at the situation on ground, we seem to be having a merry-go-round, situation of occurrences. The stability we were able to achieve 6 weeks extension-wise of the elections, it's already blinking. Things are beginning to happen again. So we're seeing a merry-go-round situation where we take and lose, we take and lose. And I can tell you that a lot of the speculation, a lot of the gray areas, a lot of the bottlenecks that have addressed the northeastern situation may not have occurred if the top brass himself was on Ground Zero. Going to Ground Zero is not necessarily going into Borno State. You could be as close to Borno as Bauchi, but certainly not as far-flung or outflung as Abuja. It doesn't work that way. Most of the arguments I have had against this move sound to me more like excuses than reasons, okay? And I tell you something, if today I had to actually play the role of a chief, I'm going to actually go as close to the battlefield as possible, because that's what the profession is about. Close to the battlefield means I'm going to have first-hand, on time, real-time grasp of situations. Talking about communications, we saw in the past where chiefs had to wait in Abuja to be told what's going on. They go on air with it only to hear that, hey, no, it's wrong. It's not that, something else is going on. So at a point in time, the world didn't know who to believe. The defense chief is there. He can wait on the president. But the chief, I mean, come on.
What was the target? How many people are we looking for? So if you don't bring back the girls, is he not setting himself up for consistent criticism, saying, well, you've not succeeded if you don't bring back the girls?
Bringing back the girls and curbing terrorism, that is stabilizing the Northeast and securing it, are two different things, though they all happen to be co-located within the same area of operations. Bringing back the girls, for Nigerians, the truth be spoken, will not be an easy task, and I'll tell you why. If I led a terrorist sect like the Boko Haram, those girls are actually insurance. Yes, indeed, they are insurance.